Plant FAQs, Cleyera japonica. Cleyera japonica versus Turnstreamia gymnanthera. I found that Cleyera japonica's glossy leaves and red new growth added a vibrant touch to my garden, while Turnstreamia gymnanthera impressed me with its dense, evergreen foliage and tolerance to pruning, making it easier to shape. How to care for Cleyera japonica. Cleyera japonica, also known as Japanese Cleyera, is an evergreen shrub prized for its glossy foliage and ornamental value. Here's how to care for Cleyera japonica. 1. Light. Partial shade to full sun. Cleyera japonica thrives in partial shade to full sun. In hotter regions, it may benefit from some afternoon shade to protect it from scorching. 2. Soil. Well-draining soil. Plant Cleyera japonica in well-draining, acidic to slightly alkaline soil. A loamy soil with good organic matter content is ideal. 3. Watering. Regular watering. Keep the soil consistently moist, especially during the plant's establishment period. Once established, water deeply but infrequently, allowing the soil to dry out slightly between waterings. Avoid waterlogging, as it can lead to root rot. 4. Mulching. Mulch application. Apply a 2 to 3 inch layer of organic mulch, such as wood chips or bark, around the base of the plant to conserve moisture, suppress weeds, and regulate soil temperature. Keep mulch a few inches away from the trunk to prevent rot. 5. Pest and disease control. Pest management. Keep an eye out for common pests such as aphids, scale insects, and spider mites. Treat infestations promptly with insecticidal soap or neem oil. Disease prevention. Ensure good air circulation around the plant to prevent fungal diseases like leaf spot and powdery mildew. Avoid overhead watering and promptly remove any diseased foliage. 6. Winter protection. Cold protection. In colder climates, provide winter protection by mulching around the base of the plant and wrapping it with burlap or frost cloth during extreme cold snaps. 7. Container care, optional. Container planting. Cleyera japonica can be grown in containers on patios or balconies. Ensure the container has drainage holes and use a well-draining potting mix. Water regularly and fertilize as needed during the growing season. 8. General care. Monitoring. Regularly inspect your Cleyera japonica for signs of stress, pests, or disease. Address any issues promptly to maintain plant health and vigor. How fast do Cleyera japonica grow? Cleyera japonica, in my experience, grows at a moderate pace, which I find quite convenient for landscaping. When I planted mine a few years ago, it started as a small shrub, but over time, it has gradually reached a height of about 6 feet. I appreciate that it's not too fast growing, as it gives me time to shape and manage it without feeling overwhelmed by constant maintenance. How to fertilize Cleyera japonica. As for fertilizing Cleyera japonica, I've found that a balanced, slow-release fertilizer works best for promoting healthy growth. Usually, I apply it in the spring, just as new growth begins to emerge. I prefer organic fertilizers as they seem to provide a more sustained and gentle nourishment to the plant, resulting in lush foliage and vibrant blooms. How to prune Cleyera japonica. Pruning Cleyera japonica has been a learning process for me. Initially, I was a bit hesitant, fearing I might damage the plant. However, after some research and trial and error, I found that light pruning in the early spring or late winter works well to shape the shrub and remove any dead or crossing branches. I aim to maintain a natural, yet tidy appearance, which enhances the overall aesthetics of my garden. Is Cleyera japonica poisonous? In terms of toxicity, I haven't encountered any issues with Cleyera japonica being poisonous. I've read that all parts of the plant contain compounds that could be mildly toxic if ingested, but personally, I've never had any concerns about it posing a threat to my family or pets. Still, I take basic precautions, like keeping it out of reach of curious pets or children. When to prune Cleyera japonica. Knowing when to prune my Cleyera japonica has been crucial for its health and appearance. I've found that pruning it in the late winter or early spring, before new growth starts, works best. This timing allows me to shape the shrub without risking damage to new buds or growth. Additionally, pruning during this time encourages vigorous growth during the upcoming growing season, resulting in a fuller, healthier plant. When to trim Cleyera japonica bush. Trimming my Cleyera japonica bush is a task I undertake with careful consideration of its growth patterns and the desired shape. I've found that trimming it lightly throughout the year, especially after the spring bloom, helps maintain its shape and control its size. However, I avoid heavy pruning outside of the recommended times, as it can stress the plant and affect its overall health.